Hi guys, I'm Rick. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making pressure cooker pork roast with apple gravy. Okay, I'm starting out here. I have roughly a 4-pound pork loin that I cut in half into two 2-pound pork loins. Now I have my pressure cooker over here warming up, and while that's warming up, I'm going to go ahead and season these pork loins. So I'm going to start out by putting some dry thyme on them. I guess we'll go a little lighter than that because that comes out pretty quick. Some pepper, some salt, some dried rosemary, and this here is the rosemary leaves. You could also use the ground rosemary if you have it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish seasoning all sides of my pork. Okay, now that I have my pork loin all seasoned up, I'm going to go ahead and add some olive oil to my already heated pressure cooker. About 3 or 4 tablespoons. And I'm going to brown this pork up one piece at a time because we want to brown all 4 sides of it. And that way I can get a more thorough job than if I do them one at a time. So when they're browned, I'll be back. Alright, now that my pork roasts are nice and brown on all sides, I'm going to add in 3/4 of a cup of apple juice. You could also use apple cider for this if you like. I'm going to add in a 1.5 cups of chicken stock. Let me measure this out here quick. And I have this left over from the recipe the other day. It's a good way to use it up. And I'm going to add in some cooking sherry. I'm going to add in 1 cup of that. And it seems like an awful lot of liquid, but the thing is you're going to make gravy then. Well, we're going to make gravy, so we need that liquid for the gravy. Okay, now I have a bay leaf here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that down in there. I also have 1 large sweet onion that I cut into chunks. I have 3 carrots that I cut into 3s, and I have a red delicious apple here I cut up. And I guess I should have waited a little later into the game to cut the apple up because it's starting to turn brown, but that's fine, it'll still taste good. So I'm going to go ahead and get these down in here. You just want to nestle them down around the roast. Now I also have some baby golden potatoes here. I'm going to throw about 12 of them in there. Okay, 6, 8, 10. 12. Grab one that isn't green. And you can also use fingerling potatoes. And if you don't have either, then just take regular potatoes and cut them into wedges about that size, chunks. Because you want to be able to cook in the time that this takes to cook everything. Now I'm going to finish this off by seasoning with more salt and pepper. Okay, now I'm going to seal my lid on here. Set this on airtight. Okay, I'm going to set this to pressure cook on high pressure for 55 minutes. And I'm going to let the pressure naturally release on its own. I'm not going to release it. I went over by 1, but oh well. Now what that's going to do is that's going to come up to pressure. It's going to pressure cook that for the 56 minutes I put on instead of 55. Then we'll let it sit. It'll switch to warm and it'll release that pressure naturally. Alright, my 55 minutes are up and I let the pressure naturally release from this. I'm going to go ahead and get that pork roast out of there and those vegetables out of there, and then we'll work on the gravy. Okay, I pulled my pork roast out and the vegetables, sat them aside, and the remaining liquid in there I strained through a strainer. And I took a teaspoon and pushed that apple down through into the juice here, because that was pretty much like applesauce. Give it more flavor, smush it down in there. Now I have my pressure cooker warming back up on the saute setting, saute brown setting. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of margarine in here. You could also use butter. We're going to make our gravy. And I'm going to go ahead and melt this down. Right now that my margarine is melted, I have a 1/4 cup of flour here I'm going to add in. We're going to stir that around and let that cook for a minute to get the flour flavor out of it. And as you can take notice, I'm using a plastic whisk in this. And if you have a non-stick pot in your pressure cooker, make sure you use plastic or wood because you don't want to scratch it. Okay, now I'm going to let my flour cook in there for a minute to get that flour taste out of it. Okay, now that I allow my flour to cook for a little while, I'm going to add that liquid back in there. And I'm just going to whisk this together to help dissolve that flour in there. And I don't think that I'm going to use all that liquid. I use a little better than half. And I'm just going to blend this good together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to a boil and let it cook for a few minutes to start to thicken up. Okay, now that I allowed this to cook for about 10 minutes and starting to thicken, I'm going to season it with a little salt and pepper. And I'm not going to go overboard. I'm going to taste it as I go here so I don't get too much in there. That's tasting good on salt. And I'm just going to put a shot of pepper in there. I'm going to finish this gravy up by hitting it with 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay, now that my gravy's done and my pork roast rested for a few minutes, so let's go ahead and cut into this. Let me get on the side here that doesn't have so much fat on it. And as you can see, it's just falling apart on me. And another benefit of cutting this roast into 2 pieces, if I would put it in one whole piece, it never would have got as tender as it would if you cut it down into 2 pieces. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix up a plate and see what we got. Okay, I'm going to finish this off by hitting it with a little bit of that apple gravy. So there you have it. Pressure cooker pork roast with apple gravy. Give this a try. I think you'll like it. And until next time, I'll see you.